your next, I guess, what one of my other clients says, half century. What is our plans the next 50 plus years or more to live the life we truly fulfill and want? Charlotte, how did you come up with that fact and how you want to help your clients and help others do this?
Oh, thanks for asking, Neil. It's come over 30 years of working with older adults in what we call care management, helping them deal with life crises, health crises. And I found most intriguing was a client who was 100, celebrating her 100th birthday, saying to me, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have done things differently. And I realized that over the course of my clients' lives, many of them lived lives of what they were supposed to do and expected to do. And then they got to be 60, 70, 80, 100, and looked back and regretted not having done what their hearts wanted them to do, or what was interesting, or even fun.
Right, exactly. And it's like, are you kidding? Basically, they look back and say, why did I just not take chances? Why didn't I try to have fun experiences in my life? And the second half century, they really didn't do a lot of interesting stuff. And then they either ended up lonely, or just didn't live the life they truly wanted.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the saddest parts of my job, when I realized that people lived a life that was so and not vibrant and exciting. And it's not like you have to be running around crazy every day, but it does mean, what is your perfect average day? What does a life that is meaningful look like to you, not to your neighbor, not to what your mom or your dad or your grandmother lived in terms of their retirement? What does your life look like, and what do you want it to be?
And that retirement's going to be longer. It's not going to be the same as everyone else. You're going to live a lot more years. So that means how important it is to take care of your health, how important it is to create plans and plan your life, right?
Yes, thank you. Exactly. It's as if we're having a cup of coffee and we're talking about, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? That's the role that I take on with people. I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not an attorney, but I am a qualified, certified care manager. And the role that I play is one of trying to identify, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And my job in many ways is to give people permission to dream. And Neil, it's so exciting when you see the energy that they're like, I could do that? Or how do I even begin to think? That process, you see them come alive. And that's what I think a lot of older adults are missing, is that sense of excitement. They think, well, I'm 60 and, but life is so much more than Netflix and doctor's appointments.
Right. There's so much more you can do and enjoy life and continue to live the life you want and love. What do you
Exactly.
help? How do you help your clients kind of understand that? What age is a good age for you to start working with you?
Well, that's an excellent question. And typically I like to start with about 50 years old, because once you're 50 or approaching 50, child rearing may be nearing an end, so the empty nest. You've worked decades. Imagine decades in your job and looking at, well, am I going to be doing this for another 20 years? Maybe not. And so how do you create ideas that are going to use the skills you have and then help you flourish in that next chapter? So it's identifying what's interesting and of meaning, and then create a plan. And knowing that plans can change. I call it the Live Well blueprint. So you create a blueprint for the rest of your life, but it doesn't mean that's where it has to stick and stay. You get to modify it as you go. If something works, fabulous. If it's, I've been there, done that, not interested, time to revise. That's what the plan is all about. You get to change it according to what you want. And realistically, Neil, there are times a health crisis is going to happen. That's just life. It doesn't mean you give up your dreams. It doesn't mean you give up your plan. So my role is to help figure out literally what comes next. If you can't do round the world traveling, maybe traveling within the country works. Maybe local traveling works. Maybe volunteering. What again gives structure and meaning to life?
what starts the whole process is once you hit 50, you start looking at things. Like for me, I'm never retiring. I'm going to do what I love to do and continue to do it all the way up till I die. And that's
Mhm.
because I have my own business. I have my own lifestyle brand and ways, and I'm just going to keep going. And when
Yeah,
it's time, it's time. A lot of people, once they retire, they don't know what to do next. And
that's right.
at 50, you're starting to see that because some are like, okay, I'm going to retire at 65. Some, depending on this economy, it could be 70. But you have to look at specifically enough, have someone to look at those things because you might go to your financial planners. They're not going to have the knowledge and expertise. They're all going to only look at your finances. They're not going to look at everything else and planning out because planning's huge, right?
Oh,
Huge.
it's essential. And the thing is, the financial planner will say, "Well, what do you want to do?" And they'll ask that very serious question, but they won't have the skills and the ability to help figure out the steps that are needed to get you to goal. That's where I come in. I'm the bridge between the financial planner and the legal, where I'm the person who helps talk about lifestyle. What do you want in your life? And I call it, what do you want to do to decorate your life?
Right.
Right? There are the things we have to do, the non-negotiables. Okay, fine. But what do you want to do that really is exciting and feeds your spirit and feeds your soul?
And that's exciting,
It is,
right?
well, and and you own your own business. I own my own business, and I love what I do. And the reason you and I can talk about never retiring, because I too don't intend to retire, it's because we have found things that energize us,
Right. And
right?
so, like,
And
once the certain business grows to my certain level, my business, then I'll start other businesses and be able to have operators and keep going and investing in that instead of, hey, I'm going to go and give somebody else my money. No, I'll
exactly.
invest in other things. But you really can create the life you want to live, especially you're right, when your kids grow up, you different things. There's so many opportunities. And 50 is today's 30, 40. And if people are thinking at 50, I'm 51, if they're thinking, specifically enough, oh my gosh, I'm 51, it's almost over. Let's
Yeah.
just kind of slow down. It's like, no, I'm speeding up and have more energy now than I did in my 40s. So that's where I'm at. And it doesn't,
Mhm.
there's no such thing as age, especially with the opportunities that are out there for
And
older.
isn't it exciting?
Right. And there was interesting. One of my clients is in the C-suite. He's 87, 86 years old. And basically, I did a Google search of 80-year-olds in the C-suite. There are a ton. It's amazing to look at specifically enough how many people don't want to give up what they do because they love what they do. It's what kind of gives you that purpose and meaning in life.
Exactly. And for those who are happy to say, I've put in my 25, my 30 years, I'm done, that's totally fine too. But then the question is, now what? What do you want to do? And theoretically, their thought out there is that wait a year or two after retirement before you make any major commitments. That's fine. But the key is be thinking about what would you like to be doing and what again is going to not just fill your hours. Again, Netflix can fill your hours, but what's going to feed your spirit, feed your soul, and make something so vital in every day that you're pleased and happy to wake up and you know that it's going to be a meaningful, important day for you.
All right. It's a new awakening in so many ways.
Yes. Thank you. That's excellent. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that, bam, wow, this is where we're going, and it's exciting times for sure. You have something to offer our listeners today, so tell us specifically what you're offering our listeners and viewers.
Oh, well, thank you. I call it a dare to dream call because, quite honestly, dare, be brave, dare to dream about what you'd like your future to look like. So, if with your listeners, I would like them to reach out to me with info@creativecaremanagement.com, info@creativecaremanagement.com, and I'm offering it via my email because I think that not knowing who's going to be listening and when, that's a surefire way to reach me. Info@creativecaremanagement.com, and I'd be happy to schedule a time for a Dare to Dream call where they'll come away with at least one tangible step that they can do to start living a life they love. And sometimes it's just simply saying, it's okay to dream. It's okay to
Yeah,
be you. It's going to be okay.
absolutely. Appreciate it again. Thanks again.
Thank you, Neil. It's been a pleasure.
You're listening and watching